In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the process of migrating a database into KwilDB using a utility called kwildb-cli. Now, KwilDB is the first decentralized community-owned SQL database solution for building advanced dApps and protocols. I have, at this time, set up a database, a KwilDB database, and there's other videos you can see for how to do that, and I have funded the pool. And I will install kwildb-cli, standard methods of installation. I have the tool installed and ready to go. Now I need a database to import. I'm running FarmOS locally as my test database, and I'm going to dump that database using pgdump. Now these options are ones that have worked well for me. Your options and preferences may vary. On the README of the kwildb-cli, you can see these options. Some that are important is owner, perhaps privileges, because KwilDB handles permissions differently. No comments is my preference here, and this rows per insert equals 1. This is useful to give kwildb-cli a bit more resolution in the importing process in case your database is large. You want to resume, pause it to send some more funds to your funding pool or whatever. That's going to be helpful to step insert by insert. Okay, so here's my database. I've dumped it. Let's check it out. 9 megabytes. Not too small, not too big. Now over here to my kwildb-cli. Now I will give the moat name of what I have set up. Mine's called moat 1234. So that's an argument to kwildb-cli and moat 1234. I'm going to input my database, input file farmos.sql. I'd like to record any failed statements to a file, so I'll give this option. Error file is going to be errors.sql. Let's see. It does not sync to the database, to the blockchain by default, and so when you're ready, you're going to want to set that option deliberately. For now, I'd like to do a dry run. Just check this thing out. Okay, dry run. All right, now when you first run kwildb-cli, it has a moat configuration wizard. So when I run this, it's going to prompt me to set up the configuration for my moat. Okay, there's my moat name. You can go with the defaults if you don't know otherwise. Now when I get to secret, I'm going to come over here and copy and paste my secret. Copy and paste my private key. Now my terminal flashes a bit as it's slurping this big chunk of JSON data. Once this is finished, giving you some feedback that it's still processing, then you can press enter. Alright, if we have success, we're going to see it go to work here. It is testing on a dry run basis the import of the statements. Okay, we can see we got 4,896 SQL statements in our file. Gives you a little time estimate here, and as it goes along, it will update in real time to show you the data usage and the funds usage. So you could stop this at any time. You hit Control-C twice, and there you are. So if you want to do the real deal, remove that dry run, tell it to sync, and let's go. It already knows the moat, so it loaded it right up, and here we go. We are importing the database into KwilDB. Now you can see that it's taking a while. As support for WebSockets comes out, I plan to update that, and it should be significantly faster here, as I guess. And that's the magic to it. Now if you would like to see the errors, You can watch for them. I've already tested this particular database, and with those options, I had not a single error. That's how solid this import is. Another feature, useful feature to know about, is that if you did have an error, it's going to log and continue unless you use the exit on error option. There's quite a few options to check out. Right, we can exit on error. If it counters 1, it will stop. And this is quite fault tolerant. Like if I'm watching this and I see that my moat, I'm using up my funds of my pool, you could stop it. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control-C twice. Boom, boom. All right, now you see over here, this SQL statements progress bar shows you the total statements and the last one that was successfully executed, sent to KwilDB. So it's quite easy to resume, if you'd like, with the offset option. So I'm going to say offset 114. Right? Let's say I encounter an error, want to fix something or send some more funds or just pause it, whatever. The offset works in the similar syntax as a SQL statement. The default is 0, meaning it's going to start processing from the first statement. So you can read more about the help to see more info on that. And so here I'm going to resume it. And here we go. It's continuing where it left off. Similarly, I'll stop it again. There is a limit option. So let's say offset now. I'm going to start from 134. Let's say I want to limit. Let's just do 10 statements and see what we get out of that. Okay, my offset's matching up here. Okay, chew on that. And ta-da. All right. And now, as I said, on this particular database, it was very seamless. I had no errors. The full database slurped in there. And so I'm going to show you the terminal where I can access that data. When I fire up KwilDB, I am able to see certain options. Now this is modeled after mysql and psql, so there should be some familiarity in how this works. I'm going to connect to a moat. I can connect to the one that I was just working with, or this other one that I've already imported a database. Now it'll show you the name in the prompt when you're successfully connected. Type info to see a little bit info about that, and anything that's not a command is considered an SQL statement and passed on to Kwil Database. And there we go. There's options to log the results of our queries to a file. There's different syncing options: sync, don't sync, or auto sync. Attempts to sync for writes and disable sync for reads. So yeah, dig in. You can check out on the GitHub the options and some features. Thank you very much.